I'm Junes Lokka. I live in Finland, Oulu, Finland, and I'm a politician. I do bloggings. I do YouTube live streams on different events. And currently I'm being investigated by the police for a subtitling I did. It was a demonstration on August the 5th in Helsinki, Finland, and there's a French guy who is a former employee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in France. He's lived for 47 years in Saudi Arabia, in Iraq, in all over the world. In the Soviet Union, he has lived in China, in the United States, and so on. So he knows what he's talking about, and he held a 3-minute speech in August, and I subtitled it. And the police wants to interrogate me because it's so-called hate speech.
So the police are investigating you because you accurately subtitled into Finnish, I'm guessing.
Yep.
A public video interview of a person who lived in several Muslim countries and spoke openly about what that was about from his point of view.
Yeah, it was not an interview. It was a speech in a demonstration, a public demonstration, and nobody really understands this. I subtitled in Finnish, in English, in French, and then when I got the call from the police that they want to investigate, I subtitled it in 10 or 15 different languages just to tell them that I don't care. And I also said to the police that I'm not coming to your interrogation. If you want to speak with me, you can speak on the phone or you can come and fetch me. And it's been 6 months and they have done nothing. So maybe they have dropped the charges or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, it's on YouTube. I'm not sure about the English title.
What's concerning is that the police are now saying that the person who translates somebody who says stuff they don't like is potentially guilty of a hate crime, or the person who subtitles it, even if you didn't translate it, the person who subtitles it is guilty of a hate crime. Is this not a giant leap forward for totalitarian government?
Yeah, of course, but the law in Finland is that if you put in public, if you spread so-called hate speech, you can be prosecuted and you get several hundred euros of fine. This has been going for a long time. Jussi Halla-aho he's an MEP, and he was prosecuted also for the same stuff. And the thing is that even if it's true, or mostly when it is true, then they want to prosecute you. And the police are interested on people that are known, because of course there's tons of hate speech in every discussion forum there, but they just prosecute the people that are well known. They try to intimidate you or to influence the public, because lots of people that read the mainstream media, they are idiots, and they believe that if the mainstream media says that this person is a hater or spreading hate, they believe this, and this works for the other parties that are in charge in our parliament. And this is this is just like the Soviet Union.
Yes. I would have to say so. I find that Muslims also do that. They will attack the highest profile people who are critical of Islam in order to intimidate everybody else into not criticizing Islam. I find that, in fact, that the left today and Islam are indistinguishable. So you're a politician. Do you hold an elected office?
Yeah, there was an election in April the 9th, and I got the position 19, and 67 were elected in our city. So I got a pretty high score, even though I'm completely politically incorrect. I don't care about their rules, and it's clear that in Finland there is a need for this, that you just say what you think, and people like this.
So that's so you're a city councillor then?
Yeah, I start on June the 1st.
It will be very interesting to see how the rest of city council handles somebody that does not follow the politically correct party line.
Yeah, the fights have already started, because they have held meetings in which they distribute some specific positions, and the mainstream parties had decided of this distribution already in March, before the election. And I told this on Facebook, on YouTube, on every place, that these guys, they don't care about the election. They always assume that they will be winning and nobody will disturb them. And now there's been lots of articles in the local newspapers and on our public broadcasting company that I am causing trouble. But the only thing that I asked was to distribute equally the places in order of the votes that people got, but they want to use another method, which is called Hunt's method, in which they take the party's votes into account. And that we had a list with two candidates, and the biggest list was 100 candidates. So they get lots more of counted votes. So in their system, they are privileged. But if we go just taking into account the number of votes, we would be privileged, or not privileged, but we would get some decent places, because there are hundreds of places, but they do not want to give away any. And in the mainstream media, they are trying to make us look bad, that we were not behaving correctly, or we were disturbing. But it's bullshit. And the thing is that every time we go out on the street, I live with a famous blogger that's called Swan of Tuonela. She's been on, for example, on Red Ash Radio and on Infowars also. And when we go out on the street, people always talk to us, and they, even if they have read the mainstream media, they know that it's just propaganda.
So it sounds to me like Finland also, like the rest of the Western world, is suffering under a tilted playing field where all the systems are being corrupted to advantage the extreme left and anti-freedom movement. That it's pretty horrifying.
Yeah, that's true. It's not so bad as in Sweden, but still there is this the same phenomenon that has happened in the West since the 60s or something like that. And if For example, there was a few weeks ago there was one deportation plane in which they sent 12 Afghanis, and the left was rioting against that. They attacked police cars, and they went to the airport and tried to stop the deportation. And the Helsinki police says this week they said, we will not investigate this because we have other things to do. But if it was the other way around, that when they are brought in the country, and if there was a right-wing riot that tries to prevent them from coming to the country, that would be a hate crime, and it would be a big deal. But in this case, the mainstream media did not report it. The videos were only shown on YouTube and Facebook. So it's as always, it's double standards that are applied in here, and whatever the left does, it's okay. It doesn't matter. But if a right winger does even a peaceful protest, it's shown as a bad thing.
Yes. In fact, I'd even personally think that the goalposts have been moved. So what you're calling right wing, in the 1960s, they would have called a left-wing hippie. I mean, Geert Wilders in the 1960s would have been demonized as a left-wing hippie queer. And now the medium calls him a far right-wing extremist because he believes that Jewish people and gay people have a right to exist without molestation by Muslims in the Netherlands. And that now qualifies you as far right-wing, which is a ludicrous attempt to connect them to the Nazis, which the Nazis were in fact a far left-wing party.
Yeah, that's there's the same thing here. We did follow the Dutch election, and we also follow the French election here, and also the result of the Dutch election was portrayed here as a big loss for the far right, which they call the Freedom Party. But yeah, he has lots of gay voters. He has even Moroccan voters backing him. But the mainstream media and these journalists and all these idiots, I don't know. I always ask, are they stupid or are they acting like stupid? I have not gotten a real answer on this very simple question. And if you ask them directly that, are you stupid, they get offended. And then they say that I'm spreading hate, but I'm just asking a legitimate question: that why are you so simple? But the same in Finland, that if whatever you do, or if you hold certain positions, you are labeled as far right, even though you would be a leftist in the traditional
spectrum.
Yeah, the demonstration in which this French guy speaks is funny because there are anarchists shouting and playing their sirens, and they are making a lot of noise. But this guy, he doesn't care. He just tells what he has seen in the Middle East. In fact, there is another case in which I am charged for a blog writing, but maybe we can do another interview later in which I will speak about that. It's about a swimming pool in Sweden in which there were asylum seekers that started to grope 12-year-olds, and it's hate speech to talk about that.
I think that's interesting. Did they charge you formally with that, or just contact you?
Yeah, I was interrogated 2 years ago, and now, in fact, during the election, I was called by a journalist who was asking that, hey, you have been charged on March the 1st. And I said, I don't know. And I went to the courthouse and I asked, and they said, yes, that's true, but it is still a secret. We cannot tell you what it is about. And I will probably be fined this coming summer or maybe in September. But it's entertaining to go to the courthouse and look at the judges and the prosecutor. They are so serious about this stuff. But yeah, it's very sad that these laws exist. But since they exist, you have to make fun of them. It's the only way to react to this oppression.